business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
I'm Eamon.
I'm Merlin.
And we're a gay.
And his NB.
Are you a reality television connoisseur?
Do you like it discussed from an LGBTQ lens?
If so, A Gay and His NB is the podcast for you.
Hear us break down all your favorite guilty pleasure reality shows from Bravo, Drag Race, and just about everything in between.
Listen to A Gay and His NB on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
I'm Eamon.
I'm Merlin.
And we're a gay.
And his NB.
Are you a reality television connoisseur?
Do you like it discussed from an LGBTQ lens?
If so, A Gay and His NB is the podcast for you.
Hear us break down all your favorite guilty pleasure reality shows from Bravo, Drag Race, and just about everything in between.
Listen to A Gay and His NB on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
I'm Eamon.
I'm Merlin.
And we're a gay.
And his NB.
Are you a reality television connoisseur?
Do you like it discussed from an LGBTQ lens?
If so, A Gay and His NB is the podcast for you.
Hear us break down all your favorite guilty pleasure reality shows from Bravo, Drag Race, and just about everything in between.
Listen to A Gay and His NB on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
own business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
The Wrestling Mayhem Show. Since 2006, the pioneer in pro wrestling podcasting.
This show is brought to you by IndyWrestling.us and IndyWrestling.network for your independent wrestling entertainment. Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza.
Just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Don't give up what you want, take it back. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Do what you have to do, make it last. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Don't want one, this you change the plan. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Wait for the perfect time, then attack.
Hello, it is the Wrestling Mayhem Show, episode 1004. Tuesdays we've been talking about professionalized wrestling, almost in most cases, regardless of where we are. I am live from an Airbnb in Grass Lake, Michigan, where I just got here a couple hours ago, flying in from Portland, and we are going to be hanging out doing some work up at the Michigan Speedway. But we're going to talk professionalized wrestling. We watched a bit of it. We had backlash on in the Airbnb in Portland, and with us is the Air Riz and Riz.
Flash.
This podcast is ready for the backlash. I'm not sure. Matt might drop in here after he puts the kid to bed. But in the meantime, whereas I figured we could get things started. Producer Missy is on the ones and twos back in the studio in Pittsburgh. So
I'm the one doing the work today, guys.
Yes.
I'm doing the work today, but I'm going to pass it off to Sorg because he's the one that talks.
There you go. If you have any questions about anything, Missy, as an avid, lifelong wrestling fan and such. And Tina's in the chat room. Tina, I was in your town today. I sent a message while we were in there. I spent about an hour and a half or so at the SeaTac airport around Seattle in your neck of the woods. But anyways, and we do have with us now, joining us is the mad one from Hudson Valley, New York. It is Mike.
Hi, everybody.
I'm experiencing some technical difficulties.
Oh, she's Missy's trying to. We'll have Mad Mike's face here in a little bit, but
It's okay. No one needs to see that. It's fine.
okay.
We are toward the end of the school year.
Oh my gosh! How are you doing? And how many of your students have you converted into wrestling fans?
I'm still trying to get them to know what a mole is.
We're talking about
yeah. Although I will say I did get a couple of my kids to watch the Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest Puerto Rico street fight. As you should.
Doing the good work. Definitely doing the good work there. Thank you.
Doing the good work.
Take that, Jacob Edwin.
Might see him next weekend, so we'll see.
Let him know that not only is he not a real professor, now I'm a double professor.
Double professor.
Double
professor. Double.
You have degrees on degrees. Real and
stack them.
Stack them,
Stack
pack
them,
them, and rack them.
you had that questionable degree a few years ago, and I'm wondering if it's more it has more credentials than my actual degree from the Art Institute, which is now out of business, and I think they're giving most of the money back.
Sorry, I don't know what questionable degree you're talking about. I have a doctorate in wrestling history.
Well, it was one that had a Post-it note on it, and mine was the Art Institute of Pittsburgh. I can't tell you which one's more suspect.
Sorry, that's a style choice.
Yeah, it was. Unfortunately, it was an expensive one.
Now look what you're doing, Sorg. Mm-hmm. We're doing podcasts on a Tuesday night.
Podcast on Tuesday night, and that's like, and I feel bad putting headphones in, but I'm just like, you know what? This is what they do in freaking TV when I'm at the gym on ESPN. So why am I trying so hard? Anyways, enough of that. Backlash was this weekend. Make your Joey Styles jokes now.
It sure happened.
It was a thing.
It
honestly-
sure happened.
Honestly,
Man, yes,
it was a good. It was better than the first night of WrestleMania.
it was better than first night WrestleMania. Now, I watched it after it went off air. I waited till it went off air, and I did not. I had no like. I didn't get a million commercials that I was even skipping through. It felt like I breezed through the thing. It was 5 matches, right?
It's
you know,
almost like more advertisers want to advertise on WrestleMania, and they're not good enough for Backlash.
So are you telling me there were
Backlash?
actually a lot less advertisers on the live feed for the Backlash?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was normal. It wasn't ridiculous. It was like
Yeah, the Hulk Hogan
match
documentary
ad
is
spot,
already out.
match ad
Yeah.
spot, match ad spot. Like
Mhm.
Yeah,
you
the
know,
Hogan
it-
doc. The Hogan doc's already out, so you can watch that. They don't have
They
to,
had a
like,
couple-
promote
or
that.
you could not.
or not. I still
Yeah.
have to watch
I
it.
literally 10 minutes before we did Awesome Cast, I had our friend in San Diego was messaging us. He was on like the halfway through the third episode. He had stuff because he's going to work. And he's the kind of guy that's going to be like number one Hogan fan, growing up and stuff. So I'm sure he had a lot of the he had a lot of the feels. You know what I mean?
Like, I still haven't watched it yet, and
Mhm.
again, I said this last week. I will probably turn into the Undertaker, and have my eyes rolling all the way back in my head.
Yeah, I mean, I went the Untaken grain of salt, but again, also like I said, I appreciated the first 2 episodes I watched for being a fan in that era. It was kind of nice to revisit that and get a little bit of background. Obviously colored in a certain way, but
Red
generally,
and yellow actually. Red
yeah,
and yellow,
red
and
yellow
then
would be a good one.
and then
Later on,
black
and white, and then
Yeah.
and then black
and then
white.
black and
Yeah.
red, and then black and white and red, and then black and
and then
red
red
again
and
for
yellow
Newsline.
again, but oddly always green.
Mm. And then red, white, and blue with a mask,
Mhm.
and then
Yep.
Mhm.
They
was
actually
that him?
didn't talk about that at all.
Damn.
They
Now
don't
he's
talk
back
about
on.
Mr. America.
Well,
at all.
obviously, this documentary didn't do its due diligence.
Backlash.
I feel like the biggest talk, amazingly, the biggest talk, Danhausen is maybe the second biggest talk, which we'll get to that too, is what's up with Asuka after their match with Io Sky at Backlash. It looked like a retirement to me. Obviously, what we're watching, and again, not looking at social media, watching it afterwards. I'm just like, I think she's done. Now there is a report. I think this is a Sean Ross Sapp one saying that she is, and I think there was. I watched the highlights from Raw last night. I just very much didn't have the time last night with my late night early flight today. But I see that they did a little bit of a send off, with Asuka Mio, right? And I think it was Sean Ross Sapp that was reporting that she is still under contract going to Japan for an extended stay. Probably visiting family, something, could be something going on with that. I feel like Kyrie was doing something similar, honestly. Obviously, she left her contract, but, I can understand.
Kyrie got married during that time, I thought. I think
She was let go?
No. Before, like, I know there was a time where she was, like,
She was let
away
go. Yeah, she was let go and out of contract, and they just brought her back, a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
So, to do the could be good Warriors things. So
I feel like they're milking that, though.
what?
I feel like they're milking, like, her. I don't want to do air quotes, but I feel like they're milking their retirement a little bit. I kind of think they're kind of maybe reeling us in a little bit for if there's another, if she decides to come back or, whatever is going on.
Oh, sure. You got to keep the door open.
Well,
First of all,
never say never in wrestling.
Yeah, you never say never. You keep the door open. She's not gone.
I mean, they did it. They did 2 retirement spots. It was the retirement match, or it was the match where they hugged and all that stuff, and then there was that promo on Raw where they kept him on her until she left the building.
Which I bet that was recorded at the pay-per-view.
That's also true.
It's very possible actually. That was a tremendous match. Just
It was
letting
still
those
an
girls
awesome
go,
match.
letting the Joshis go. You know, I know Io's probably the only one left.
It's a damn
of the
shame.
Joshi.
It's a
Mhm.
damn shame if it's true because Raw's women's division needs Asuka.
And then just
Like
like throw up a bunch of people.
I love Io. I love Io. Io's amazing in the
Mhm.
ring. Io doesn't have what Asuka does.
Mm-mm.
He never has.
No, but she's got something different, and she's got the fans behind her. So like they could do a lot with that. And they have, and I think she was the highlight of my WrestleMania like the last year or two. You know, before
Highlight
this
of
year.
WrestleMania, highlight of Survivor Series, like
Mhm.
War Games matches were all surrounding Io doing fun spots. So I
Yeah.
mean, we'll see, Sorg. We'll see, everybody. It's gonna be interesting. See where they go from.
By the way, we got some great moments, and I think it made definitely Backlash worthwhile to watch. The other thing that made Backlash worthwhile to watch, obviously, is Danhausen.
Of course.
So
I didn't know how much I needed Calvin and Hobbes spots in my wrestling.
what was your Calvin to have spot?
The spot of the match. Scientific Progress goes boink.
Oh.
Where Calvin goes in. Calvin makes a clone of himself, and then the clone goes in and makes other clones of himself.
Mm-hmm.
It's a literal Calvin and Hobbes spot, and I am fucking here for it.
There's definitely a lot of homage with there was something pointed out like how much like then I remember watching that with Katie and I was like somewhere Elvira is smiling with a lot of the campy and the tone that's happening right now, right? Because there's obviously a lot of reference for that kind of stuff and the chili billies and everything of the back in the day, right? Those movie.
Do you know who the Minihausen was? The original one.
The masked one you're talking about?
The masked one.
That would be one El Torito, also a Mascarita Dorada.
Mascarita Dorada. Yep.
Who has been wrestling in AAA, I believe WWE AAA. So they got him back.
Mm-hmm.
So great use of him. There's somebody, I love this one, it was like a thread or something, talk about how when they did the mic check on Minihausen, what did he call him? God, is it El Blango or something? No, that's not it. He had a name for him, but they didn't say on commentary. You heard it. You heard it on me. And I love they brought back the guys from WrestleMania, all the Minihausens, and they just wrecked havoc. One of them just jumps on Wade. Like I don't know if you saw the fan cam footage of one just like attacking Wade off of the desk, and he fell off his chair. And so, using Kit Wilson using a mirror to counter Minihausen, trying to curse him was one of the best things he's ever seen. Somebody used, I just saw a clip like that where a guy pulled out an Uno card, a reverse Uno card, to reverse a curse on Danhausen. I'm sure that'll work through too if they get an Uno sponsorship. I have Uno WWE Legend cards, by the way, so there's a relationship somewhere along there too. Kit Wilson, yeah, that was T-Pop that mentioned that in the chat room.
But did you find your cards, Mike?
Oh, you know what? I forgot to look for them.
Oh, I thought you pulled them out. I was like, oh.
No, I had a different Uno deck. I do have an Uno deck just randomly always on me. You never know when you're going to need an Uno reverse card.
You never know.
But that's an open deck. I actually have not opened the up down one. It's still sealed.
Mm. It's unsealed, but the Legends one came in a tin.
Ooh, fancy sword.
Probably, I think it was a gift or something.
But still,
the
one thing I want to say is this: I've heard a lot of people, some people that weren't really happy with it, with the Danhausen match, because they were like, it should have been Oba, it should have been John Cena, it should have been this guy, it should be no, it shouldn't. It should be little people wrestling.
It's exactly what it needed.
It should be micro wrestling at Backlash.
You put Oba in there as much as I wanted Oba, and everybody's gonna be like, well, they killed Oba,
Yeah,
right?
or they're squashing the Miz and
Yeah,
Kit Wilson,
Which
it's
they
a
weren't
5-minute match.
anyway, but
it's a
They
fun
got
match.
spots.
Yeah.
In this case, it doesn't matter. Everybody's playing their part in this match, and they're making
If
some beautiful, fun thing that literally everybody is talking about.
yeah,
Not a celebrity, mind you, in the days where we're like, of the Logan Pauls and the Jelly Rolls, and everybody's kind of like, ooh, what was that celebrity mania that we just had, right? We have somebody who is a wrestler who's been on the indies for 11 years, that has this character, that has this thing that is truly unique and different in itself, and the fans are eating it up at this point, right?
the best
And
part about that is you have two guys on the other side in Miz and Kit who know the deal,
yeah,
who know how to sell it, who know
Yeah.
that it's going to work out, which is why
Oh my
I think
God.
is they have that mini house and not have like
They've
Oba
been-
getting squashed.
they've been literally doing Looney Tunes for the last month, and I'm so here for it. I miss that. I miss the goofiness. The primetime wrestling. Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon, for some inexplicable reason, are on the set of a Western being filmed, and hijinks ensue. You know what I mean? Like, I love this kind of stuff.
I'm waiting for like an earthquake moment where he has a plate full of burgers and just says it's a steak. Like it rhymes with steak.
Peace. We could get there. Who knows? I mean, I think they tried this for a different thing with the gingerbread man thing over on the other show, and
it kind of worked.
It's like the old WWE thing where, like, this is so stupid, we're gonna keep doing it until you're with us. You know what I mean?
The sitting up out of the casket.
That made it.
I'll say it's
it
worth it
did.
for that moment. Yeah.
We took a long walk around to get to our destination, but we put a nice button on it.
Lil
And it
Yachty
was-
is the MVP of that entire the entire.
WWE superstar Lil Yachty, apparently,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. And honestly, I said this before. I said this I think a couple of days ago. I'm like, Lil Yachty, and again, this is the most times I've ever said his name. He is what Travis Scott is, what WWE wished Travis Scott was.
Yeah, it is actually.
That's what a celebrity spot should be
Mm-hmm.
for somebody who we don't know. It should be somebody
Right.
who wants to be there, somebody who wants to perform, and he's doing that with Trick and Sammy. And again,
And-
Sammy's a good punching bag for that as well. Like he's great. He's a great straight man for that.
Connor's saying again, the Miz showing why he's a real goat here. Absolutely. The Miz will be a Hall of Famer at some point for all the stuff that he's done. Danhausen and Minihausen should continue to team together and win the tag titles. I don't know about that. I can see him doing it, but not for an extended thing. If I also love Minihausen did Wade Barrett's finishing move, and Wade was losing his mind on commentary. Yes, all this. Did you see the post show where they came out and
Or they just tormented
wreaked
Corey
havoc?
Graves?
Yep. Stole his watch, whatever the case may be. Danhausen is all over ESPN this past week, in person, by the way. So yeah, he's completely good right now doing this kind of stuff.
He's R-Truth. He's the new R-Truth.
Mm-hmm.
And R-Truth
absolutely.
is still there. And R-Truth can still work with him.
R-Truth's still there, and can you imagine R-Truth meets up with Danhausen?
I think it happened, didn't it? Probably happened.
I thought it happened.
We
already, yeah.
call. They may have had a moment, but there's so much more they could do with that relationship. So, hey, there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of really cool stuff in wrestling. We're going to talk a lot more about Backlash, although is it really a whole lot more? I don't know.
We do need to talk about the major world-shattering, landscape-changing announcement that
Oh, absolutely. And we'll do that after we thank our Patreon supporters real quick at patreon.com/wrestling mayhem show. Our friends at the Fan Show level, and I'm in an Airbnb duplex situation, so I don't want to do this real. Oh, diggity. Whoa. It actually hurt me more. As well as Team Amethyst, Bill Brewer at the Pop Club level with Dave Pop Partner. You can also sign up for races in the Pittsburgh area at gcxc.com/eventspa with the code Dave26 and Wrestling Insurance code Tony Kincaid and True Prince of Pro in the Pizza Club level. The Riz. There he is. There you go. Get you on screen.
There you go. Is he still? Are they still intern John? Are they still intern John, or is it just John?
Wait, is it intern John will always be intern John until I see a degree. Okay. I know there is one.
This is for you, intern John.
Yes.
For everyone.
Yes. And wherever you are, which is probably still Scotland. Oh, it should be still in Scotland. I don't know. We need to check in. Let me Slack John right now and find out what's going on over there. I don't know, man. Riz, after seeing Buff Eagle and as deep as I am in the Dungeon Crawler Carl books, I feel like there's some connection there.
Okay. It's Mordecai.
Oh, it's one of the Mordecai forms. I like that. Missy gets that reference on production right now. There's the other one.
I do. It's great.
See, Missy, I told you there'd be something for you. So anyways, where are we at with this?
Do we have another?
Also, the Riz, Justin Cleaver, and the manager level, Bradley, and I believe still Tina maybe still on there. I haven't checked it yet for a little bit.
I mean,
and there you go.
There we go. That's
yeah, we can leave that just for conversation, obviously.
Also, this as well. Also this. Also this. That's better. We may continue.
There you go. This is great for the audio people right now. You're like, and this.
And this.
That's a noogie. These all involve Bradley, if you're wondering out there. Sorry. What else did we have going on here? We had Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins.
It was a 20-minute match.
It was a 20. They went, but then they got a little weird. And then everybody got involved or whatever. So there's that, I guess. I don't know. They're going to keep going. They're going to keep fighting. It's hopefully he does a job and brings Braun up. I don't know about his hairstyle. Somebody says I don't like the way he talks. His biggest detractor is the way he talks, and we fixed that. I've been reading wrestling Reddit lately, and it is such a roller coaster. Sorg. Oh my God, it's such a roller coaster right now.
First of all, do you know who his uncle is, Sorg?
I know who his uncle is. We have Braun Steiner.
That man can cut a promo.
All right, we're being reminded of. I'm just reminded us that Truth was confusing Danhausen with Asuka.
Oh yeah, the face paint. Yep.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. There's a team up. Truth and Sammy. Tina is saying that Sammy is the KO style straight man currently in this relationship storyline, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
It's weird. I don't know if I like it.
Yeah. Like the sit up was a fun moment, but the storyline can end now.
Yeah, I suppose for the most part.
It's not really serving anyone except to make a bit of funny TV. It doesn't really help. It doesn't really help Trick, who's already over, and it doesn't make Sammy more hated because people hate the Gingerbread Man and want to see him get his head kicked off.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't think it's doing what it wants to do on either side.
Get a reaction. Roman and Jacob Fatu.
Gas.
It's only the beginning.
Yeah.
Just put the pedal to the metal whatever it is called, and give it.
Put the pedal to the metal, Riz.
Give it to
all gas. no brakes, no gas
You know,
station for
just
50
to
miles.
know-
Just
know
give
what
the
I
belt
mean.
to Jacob.
Just give it to him.
Just give
Mhm.
the belt to Jacob.
Take the belt and give it to Jacob Fatu. That's it.
Because Roman, I don't need to see Tribal Chief 2.0. I don't need to see it. It's tired. We've done it.
It does feel very rehashed right now.
Like if it was Roman without the support of the Usos, that's actually interesting. But that's not what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. We'll get to that in a
And
minute.
it's just-
But in the meantime, I do want to get to the last thing on Backlash here. And then let's talk a little bit about the copyright controversy that's happening after this next part. John Cena Classic was announced. They're going to have a night very similar to John Cena's last match with main roster and
Oh no,
NXT
this is
people.
not similar. Sorry, this is not similar.
This is your
Well,
favorite
similar.
word.
There's no John Cena match on this.
Yeah, it's not a tournament. There's
Nope.
no John Cena match.
It's a
It's
showcase.
not at the.
No.
Yeah, but like
It's a showcase, and then the fans vote on best in show,
it,
like a
it
dog
could
show.
it could have been an email.
It could have been an email, yeah, but then you get to say John Cena's going to be here and you sell 10 more tickets to
John Cena said he
Backlash and
wasn't even.
Tampa.
John Cena kind of implied he's not even going to be there for this.
Oh, I think he's implying he
He's-
doesn't have to be there for it,
Then what the fuck is the point?
but I can't imagine him not being there since he's Mr. Ambassador.
I
and
can.
He's popping up. In
I
a
can.
Suit.
He said I'm going to be watching at home.
Oh, okay. I take that for what it is. They've not announced a date or anything like that, so we'll see what happens around his movie schedule on Amazon. Apparently,
This could have been an email.
it is a good point. I mean, with the gas prices these days, Jacob is considering using brakes right now. Says Tina. Yeah, I get that. Especially in California.
And we don't need another championship in WWE.
And the producer says show title, it could have been an email. Which is what some people are going to say about this episode. But anyways, there was an interesting comment. I threw it over on the Facebook group, and let me pull it up from so on its face, I think it's, I think the John Cena thing, people mentioned there did come up months later. It was a big showcase for them. It got fans behind them, be it on NXT. I thought that was really good for them. But things are a little different, and we have to acknowledge that in the face of TKO cutting people and, in whatever the case may be, we do have, and I'm trying to pull it up here so I can get the official kind of verbiage of this, but Lance Storm is reminding us that, well, after this, why would I make an NXT guy look good and take my spot when we know that we're just getting rid of people at this point? Like, now you've kind of painted the pole with how the corporate guys are thinking about this. Did I not share this?
I didn't see it, but it makes a lot of sense.
Oh, I don't think it went through. But yeah, that was a Lance Storm thing. Like, yeah, like you just told everybody that nobody's job is for certain, no matter how long you've been there, New Day, and we're gonna ask you for a 50% pay cut. Meanwhile, I'm seeing comments like, hey, WWE's, I forget who said this, was it Kevin Nash? Was saying WWE's or TKO's using WWE to bail out UFC at this point, right? There's a lot going on there. This is what's happening in WWE is that corporate thing that's happening where nothing matters except for the stock price and the profits to the CEOs at the top. And
we always knew
Man.
to an extent that was true, but
yeah,
at least
It's like
the
in our
people
face.
making those decisions knew about the in-ring product, whereas TKO doesn't and doesn't want to know about.
well, did we talk about last week how I think this is news since last week that creative was involved with these cuts?
There are
in
some cuts
the-
that make sense. There are some cuts
in
that
the
make
vein
sense.
that,
Like
well, in the vein that the reporting that's going around amongst the tend to be credible-ish wrestling sources are suggesting that the TKO says we want to get rid of X amount of people and goes to creative and says, who are we not using? Who do you not intend to use that we can let go and won't be feeling it? Okay.
Yeah,
Obviously,
but,
there's some
but it's
things
also
They were
It's also
using
the-
Kyrie.
they were
they
using
were-
Kyrie.
they were
Like,
in the middle of using Kyrie, but obviously there's some more to that because with her wanting to go to Japan and everything, she might have just been like, it might have been the 50% thing. We don't know. What we don't know is how many of these people were cut versus how many of these people refuse to take a 50% pay cut. We do not know that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's an explicit place except for maybe the allusions to the New Day. Okay. So like that's so don't conflate, we don't have that information or even suggestions of the information from the quote unquote move sources, sources that we have.
like
So,
the
yeah,
creative, but creative making the decision to not use people when they're the ones making the decisions not to use people. It's kind of a snake eating its own tail.
This is not new, Mike.
I know.
This is not new. How
I'm
many
not
times
I'm not saying it's new.
Hey, you're going to
I'm
sit at
just
home
saying.
for 6 months, non-BTV, and we're going to tell you you're not as valuable as you used to be because we made you less valuable because, hey, it's contract renewal time. It's a freaking business. It's a corporation. This is the tax to do. It's, again, a reminder to everybody out there, no matter where you are, the businesses, the companies, the corporations are not on your side. They're on the side of the money. And there's very, very few places that actually do put the people first when it comes to these, especially on this massive scale that would be a WWE TKO situation. So, some could argue AEW is more wrestler first, but there are also some others that will argue that they are absolutely armed and have not had great experiences with it. So, like, again, like this is, kind of apples, not apples and oranges, but it's the nature of it. You're only as good as you seem to be useful and be making money for the people up top.
It's what have you
And
done
even
for
that,
me lately?
Yeah, even that will doesn't work sometimes either.
Not entirely. Yeah, exactly.
You can be on your best day and then it'll be like, by the way, you're done.
I mean, it's kind of hard for them to make the company money when you turn a lot of people heels, and heels typically don't release a lot of merch because you don't want to be advertising that some people are fans of heels. Like, unless you're cool heels, like Dom and Liv, who release a shit ton of merch, and I buy a lot of it.
And do very good with it, and do very, very good with it, obviously. Billionaires paying for playing with their dolls. Yeah, I mean, that's what promoters do on a smaller scale too, probably too. Anyways, what was next after this? We talked about that. We talked about, is there another WWE bit? I feel like there's something in the chat room we were supposed to bring up here. Content creation controversy. Are you up on what's been going on here?
I have no idea what that is.
Oh.
Apparently, I have not done deep reading. I've fumbled across this because a couple creators have made it into my feed. The one girl on Instagram.
Yeah.
So, and I cannot remember her name. She was all over WrestleMania, so I started following because I was like, okay, this is interesting. I want to see what she's doing.
Blonde Wheezy?
I think it's Blonde Wheezy, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So these are the people that you see when there's a big moment like the John Cena turn, CM Punk return, and they pull from the Twitch feeds and everything, and you get the reaction. By the way, none of those people are getting paid for that. That's WWE reaches out and does it. Maybe it's through the agreement through Twitch or something, which, by the way, you signed off on. We're on YouTube. WWE can decide to take this clip right now. I don't know why they would, and use it, on SmackDown on Friday as a reaction video, and we don't get anything off it, even if we get mentioned.
We have to do a lot more reaction than this, Sorg.
You gotta do the reaction phase. You gotta do the reaction phase. Point. Got a point. There you go. There's a lot of that's for the thumbnail later. Anyways, Wheezy and Santy. So apparently, while WWE, in the same videos that they're using on television to promote how reactive and crazy all these moments are, those same videos, they're getting takedown notices by TKO Corp. So obviously a disconnect on the policy there. What's up, Mike? And as somebody who worked in a similar space to this, Mike, why is that?
So typically, it's the videos that actually stream the product as it's airing, and and it's not just reactions. If it's just reactions, those are typically fine. But if you hear streaming audio, if you see streaming video, they will cut you down. That's what that's the difference. If you're wearing headphones, and you're not streaming the audio or streaming the video, those are fine. As someone who I have PTSD because I watched and listened to over 300 hours conservative amount of the Conrad Thompson podcast Vanity of Stars to listen and look for any clips or streaming audio. And I had to document any time those were in there because that is WWE's intellectual property. And Conrad charges a shit ton for people to listen to those mostly terrible podcasts. So that's what if you're not streaming anything and you're just reacting, those are typically the ones people will pull. And the people who have received the cease and desist usually figure out that's what they're doing. And that's why they get their reactions on there, and then people will Google, because they're not getting paid for it, but they are getting exposure. People will Google who was that blonde reacting in the WWE video, and it'll pop up on Reddit. I'm sure it will. And then that person will get Twitch followers, and then maybe they'll subscribe to that.
Or it's more people are like, oh, that's the person I follow, and there's a little connection there, right? In these cases, like I started following Wheezy Blonde on Instagram, and I was like, okay, she's interesting. She had a couple like interesting moments that got my attention. Much like a few different ones, over WrestleMania. It's like you learn about new creators that had a moment with like Rhea Ripley, and you're like, oh, they seem cool, I'll follow them, kind of thing. And I would look at her feed, and I'm getting these, and you look at it, and there's some, if you look further down at some older stuff, there's some stuff with Bianca from SmackDown a bit ago. It's literally her reacting in the clips, and I'm just like, there's like 8 clips here from Raw, and she's not even really doing much in these clips for reacting, right? She's just kind of sitting there watching it. Why'd she even make a clip of this? I don't know. So now you are like kind of, hey, I'm watching the show through the clippers and not through even YouTube at this point, right? So yeah, that's a disconnect there. How do you represent that? I mean, we've had this. We have something in the can. I've never put it out because I'm like, oh, we're doing Mystery Science Theater on this, No Holds Barred movie that came out with some guy named Hulk Hogan and Tiny Lister. And I've tried every mechanism I can think of to keep the movie in there enough for to help you sync, but we get to take down every parts of it, anything like that. So like that's how we learned that lesson, like 10, 15 years ago, whenever we did that for one of our anniversaries. And yeah, it's not live, but they're still putting pretty massive minute-long clips of these things, right? And you can't even call it commentary at that point, because taken a few classes in fair use, guys, as a media producer in my, that degree that we said that maybe not worth shit from earlier. Like, you do have a right to commentary. Technically, we could play clips from WWE, TNA, whatever the hell we want on this show and talk about it right now. The law is on our side, but you
need to have the money to fight that legal battle.
Yeah, we have to fight WWE, TKO, and they're just going to smack you down. And that's why YouTube takes everything down, because it overcompensates, because it needs to show due diligence on their part so they don't get sued, and we stop having this discussion about Section 230, which will hurt all of us little guys, honestly. That's a different podcast. Check out the Awesome Cast over at socialmedia.com. We talk about that every once in a while. But anyways, so it's a little bit, and we do have somebody who has a law background on the podcast right now. I'm just realizing I want to chime in on this. I know not in copyright law, but so
I'm
if you
sorry.
would like to.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, I hope I'm representing this factually, correctly, and adequately on this show in my tired state.
I'm not an attorney. Do you need to preface that?
Take our
You said a
advice.
law
Do not take our
background. You were a paralegal. That
do not
counts
take our
as something.
opinion as law advice, please. This is just a
This is,
wrestling
dude,
podcast.
this is not.
Which is why I'm prefacing it with the fact that I am not an attorney.
No.
But
You
generally,
legally have to say that.
exactly, I'm not giving legal advice.
That's why
I
we
am
always
not an
say
attorney.
something allegedly when we say something really
Yes.
fucked up on the show.
Allegedly.
I learned that from you.
Oh, you learned something from me.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I learned that from you.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I mean, there are laws about copyright, and I agree with what Mike said. Essentially, it boils down to who has the money to fight it. Now, Sorg, you will recall that we had a copyright issue with regard to a certain someone who we now see on our regular television schedulings that posted our content in its entirety on YouTube.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Full matches.
Which Sorg absolutely loves when that happens. And under those circumstances, it was pretty much you're going to have to hire an attorney to fight it. So guess what? TKO has lots of money to fight it. They're going to. That is literally what their legal department is. That is literally what their attorneys do. They have money that's set aside each year that is specifically set for legal fees. And their attorneys are on a retainer.
And we didn't even feel like it was worth the money to fight an independent wrestler that didn't really have any money at this point. You know what I mean? They were not under a company that starts with an A contract at the time or anything. There wasn't even a sniff in that to my knowledge. So that's it. Please consult a private attorney for legal advice, says Tina. And hopefully all of them are. I don't know. I don't know their backgrounds, what they do outside of the streaming thing. But
and I mean, honestly,
I don't,
if I can, this might even be something that turns into like a class action, depending on how many of them there are, because that would be kind of the easiest route to go with it. And again, I'm not an attorney. I don't work class action lawsuits, so it's not like I know what that would entail. But if you get a group of YouTubers together and they can kind of pool their resources to hire an attorney and file a lawsuit, that could then become not even necessarily a class action, but a multi-claimant situation. Which
do you hear that? Do you hear that? Wheezy Blonde and Exhibit A, Wheezy Blonde, and Exhibit B. What was the other name? Santi, with an I. No, absolutely. You're seeing that, even users of Nintendo games are class actioning to get their money back from the tariffs that are now deemed illegal. For instance, that's how that goes. You get the BS ones all the time where you get $5 for I used a service one time, in a day or something. I don't know how many. I don't even know how many class actions we've had from AT&T Wireless over the last 25 years. Right, just being a customer.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, class action, there are certain criteria that needs to fit in for class action. So if it's 6 YouTubers that are doing this, class action's not going to meet that threshold, I don't think. But those 6 YouTubers could get together and pool their resources and hire an attorney. And instead of one person paying those legal fees, then that becomes 6 plaintiffs against TKO type of situation. And, they might be able to figure something out to work under those circumstances. What it's going to set is precedent. And that's, I think, more important than necessarily monetary at this point, is to show a big corporation that, you can't just trample over us. And you can't just use my likeness because you feel like using our likeness. And I think that's kind of one of those things that needs to be set a little more in stone legally myself. I'd like to see that
absolutely.
kind of specified.
Tina, who also is not a lawyer in the chat room, says, I would say consult your attorney general for local resources if need be. But also interested because, there's a very public internet, interstate kind of situation too. So, and the legalese.
Thing was weird because that next the big streaming show thing was Friday Night SmackDown, and they did that video package of the Gingerbread Man where he was reacting to CM Punk returning. And there was a lot of people, there was a lot of people, and I don't know why they keep on coming up on my reels and all that stuff. They were all saying, "Oh, this is TKO making fun of," or like, first they took us out, now they're making fun of us with this stupid thing because they're killing. They're literally saying they're killing the React streamers. I'm like, your platform is to sit there and watch wrestling.
But also, like, they've acknowledged your platform and used it, and they create their own, reaction things. I just think, you can, like, we've played with this with the watch parties and react streams and stuff ourselves before. Apparently, it was cool because we do everything before it's cool, Riz. And
yeah, we did entire watch parties.
Yeah, we did. And we knew if we have watch parties, watch alongs for matches on there, we knew exactly never to put any of that content in our stream. That was a no-brainer for us. That's also why, then we get the thing where people are looking for something, come to our video, and then just have a bunch of comments just pissed that it's not actually the match before, WWE started posting everything on YouTube. But yeah, WWE used reactions to Falling Night on Raw. They're using it. The media team is using it because they want to be part of that culture. They know that's good for them. But the problem is the legal division is not on the same page. This is not a new thing in any industry, okay? Especially a creative one like this. So, like, this is kind of par for the course here. And as you have this parent company that's even further detached from the content versus, like, Nick Khan gets what the hell he's getting into and has a dialogue with Triple H. Obviously, TKO does not. They're just like, how can we make money off of bull riding, and everything. So it's it's a different kind of vibe to that. Hey, we're not going to solve that problem, and maybe we'll have a fully certified, not giving advice lawyer on the show in the future, because I think that might be a worthwhile thing with this going on. And I know we know a couple of them, so we might have to send a message out. If you're already listening or catching this clip later, please drop me a message if I forgot to reach out to you. I'm not getting into the AI thing tonight. We've talked about before, and I want to look at some more of this before we talk about that. I do want to talk about a wrestling show golf course. Maybe you didn't watch the show on Saturday night. Maybe you didn't watch a replay, but you've seen the clips by now, I'm sure, of Darby Allin and Pac wrestling in a sand trap in the indoor golf course in West Palm Beach, is it? Springs?
Yep.
West Palm Springs?
It's the Top Golf League.
SoFi.
Course.
Yeah. SoFi Center or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
They did like 4 matches there. Really unique. They've said we want that old, a spring break nitro vibe to it. This is something that they are, it was a Fairway to Hell that they did. It was like an hour kind of collision special. They do want to make it annual. They want to put a shared golf course called Highway to Hell, says Tony Khan. I love it. I love weird places to put wrestling like this. You know it. We've had these conversations. I'm always like, it's like 3 places I want to put a array in Pittsburgh. I'm still trying to get the guts to ask about and figure out where I pay for it. But I love it. I love it. Keep going with this. I mean, even the stadiums, like, being in Arthur Ashe Stadium, which is not a typical venue you would put a wrestling ring, right? I think music halls, things like that. Like, it makes them look unique, and they get to do something different. And it makes that television product even more stand out versus the competition as that challenger brand, which is what WCW was doing back in the day, honestly.
I haven't watched Collision, excuse me, in a hot minute, but I saw the clips online and I'm like, oh, that looks like a lot of fun. I wish they utilized it a little bit more. Like I kind of wish the Derby match was false count anywhere, not just no count out.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a bit of a missed opportunity. I understand why they did it because it's a world title match. You want it to finish in the ring. I get it. But at the same time, if you have that venue and you're not finishing the match in the sand trap or by the cup, I feel like you failed. Like a coffin drop where Darby lands on the hole and you go, oh! That's how you end the match. That's how you end the match.
From that, but well, yes, but also if you intend to come back, you can't blow your load on every idea right off the bat. So
you sure can. You sure can.
Sure can. Okay, ECW.
Excuse me, Stadium Stampede. It's not like they don't have a history of this.
Yo,
the fact that Darby Allin didn't drive a golf cart to the ring is also a missed opportunity.
Or have both of them just crash golf carts.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they're banned from golf carts after a few of those incidents.
I can buy it. Tony Khan can buy them. It's fine.
I need to boot up AEW Fight Forever.
I love
that game.
It's gonna be like the WCW monster trucks. Like just give them AEW style golf carts.
Mm-hmm.
Have one Darby Allin that's like a giant coffin and Pac with whatever Pac's doing these days. Is juiced up like a juiced up golf cart because he's jacked for some reason, and have him just go to town. Just like do like a jousting match between those two.
Okay, here for it with putters. No, I really appreciate it. I thought I love just like throwing each other in the sand traps was so much fun. It was awkward. It was
I just point out one thing? I like how they're doing this, and now it's like, where can we throw Darby Allin off of this week?
It really is. It really is. But that's what he's doing.
I hate it. I hate it.
Hate it?
I hate it.
Why?
He fell through two tables onto what looked like AstroTurf.
I think it is.
That does not feel good.
I don't think a lot of what Darby does feels good, bro. I don't think a lot of what wrestlers do feel good, bro.
That's true.
In general. Like that's it. All right, Briz, you got to come to the next bump class when we have the videographers in for some perspective. Anyways, guys, it's about that time. I'm about 7 minutes for quiet time at this Airbnb. So let's get through the chat room. What did you learn from wrestling this week? Who wants to go first here between you guys?
I mean, I kind of said it early on, but again, I learned that Lil Yachty is what WWE needed to spark back up the celebrities in wrestling thing. Celebrities in WWE.
Okay.
He is what Travis Scott wishes he could.
I want more Bad Bunny. I want the quintessential celebrity wrestler back because damn, I keep seeing clips of that backlash with Bad Bunny in Puerto Rico, and it was like the damnest thing I've seen in a long time in WWE. Like that, God, that was the most electric crowd, and they've had some tremendous foreign crowds, and that was such a next level. What's that?
Italy's going to be insane.
Italy. Do we even have an Italian wrestler? And then just gun through his nearby?
We had Giovanni Vinci.
Giovanni,
We did. I don't think he's around anymore, is he?
He's not. No.
We know where they can find one.
You know, they can bring back Dawn, the Dawn. Tony D can come in for some time.
Maybe. I don't know. He's kind of busy.
Champ.
Yeah, he's kind of busy.
NXT champ right now.
Like also jacked to the brim.
We do have someone named Roman. That's probably the closest we have to an Italian.
The moment.
No, his name's Roman. It's a
I know
Roman.
his name's Roman.
It's a Roman.
We have to do it.
When in Rome, his name
Riz,
is Roman.
Did you even go to social studies?
I know this, Sorg. Why are we getting so close to the screen, Sorg?
Because I can't. Because I have some space to work with, and I'm tired of seeing this blank wall.
We're 5 minutes away. We can talk about this the entire time. There's 5 minutes, but I will.
I learned. I kind of miss the social media trash talk recaps on my WWE programming. Case in point. So, Nikki Bella is trying to talk trash to Liv Morgan because they posted, WWE posted that Brie and Paige were going to be on Raw. Liv responded with a yawn emoji. And Nikki said, "You mean you as a champ and singer, right?" And then a bunch more yawn emojis, which, not great trash talk. Liv, however, responded because Liv is the MVP of WWE for the past year and a half. I can't believe you're tweeting me from home with your broken ass ankle, but since you wanted my attention, your sister in beige should be embarrassed. Next week, Roxanne and Raquel are going to be our new tag team champions. As for you, you can just keep on watching me. Happy Mother's Day, by the way. Much love to all the single mothers out there. See you soon, loser. That, mwah, chef's kiss. Everything about it. 10 out of 10. 0 notes. I miss seeing the trash talking recaps on social media because that's where we build character. That's where we build characters. Like, if you're not going to do backstage segments on this, that you have to do it. You have to show, like, hey, this stuff continues online. And calling Paige beige is maybe the funniest thing because she wishes she could be beige. She is white as the driven snow.
Didn't I catch a promo they were doing, like a line from a promo they were doing last night where Raquel or somebody says, "We're just waiting for your next controversy or scandal or whatever," to Paige?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Leaning into it. Connor says he learned that he's big, he's bad, he'll beat up your dad, he's Mason Brook, and he's over with the crowd. And apparently John Cena. So there's that. Cena learned the lesson of Easter eggs with the Death Riders Osprey United Empire arc. Oh, I need to pay more attention to those during those videos. I already do, because I kind of love the Will Osprey becoming a Death Rider, sort of, or Will Osprey has signed up for the Death Rider fitness program, apparently, which involves Daniel Garcia doing hooking over your back and doing sit-ups while you stand there holding him, apparently. So P-Pop learned that my boys, the Department of Jocks, are going to finally win the 880 tag team titles with Psychedelic Dreams on May 22nd. Do you know something I don't, T-Pop? And also, yeah, that's all I got. What did I learn from wrestling this week? Oh my God, I learned I need to give golf a chance again. Apparently. No? No?
Also,
actually, I have a
also T-Pop, I just want to make sure I just want to correct you for a little bit. It is, and I'm getting this straight from Jim. Big Jim. He's on my phone here. He's saying it's the psychedelic dweebs, not not the dreams. He wanted me to tell you this. He wanted me to tell you to say that, and not dreams. And I don't believe I don't believe that, but just but it's kind of
Are you done? You just kind of stopped.
Yeah, no, I stopped. It's fine.
Okay, one last note here, and we'll head off. This is kind of wrestling adjacent of a sort. It's just something that I'm enamored with, and I just want to share with people because I'm trying to wrap my head around it. I have become obsessed with the NASCAR social media Instagram page over the last several days for some reason. Have you seen this? NASCAR is a violent sport, guys. There's a lot more fights than I expected with this thing. It's absolutely unhinged. I kind of love watching NASCAR this way. I'm not sitting there for a 4-hour race or something, but I kind of want to because the more I see it, the infield looks like the Gathering of the Juggalos. But anyways, just putting that out there. So, but yeah, that's been my weird obsession when I'm on the road. I don't know where that came from. I was just sitting there at dinner one night. I'm just like, this is great, actually. And I kept getting more of them. And I'm now on the algorithm, and now I'm getting that in Red Bull races. So, guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Mad Mike, for joining us once again. Tina wants to know if you're going to be seeing the Stadium Stampede in person up there in the Queens. Did you work that out yet, by chance?
I have nobody to go with. So probably
I'm so sorry, man. I have a beast man to film his promotion that day in West Virginia.
It's okay. It's okay. It's fine.
Yeah. Riz, thank you so much. I hope the jocks are treating you well in this hazing. Well, you know what? Mickey Morris is no longer an official member of the jocks. So they need somebody for the hazing now. And I guess that's you.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm afraid.
Anyways, thank you, producer Missy.
Hi, I produced a show tonight. I did good.
Yay!
What'd you learn?
What did I learn? There's apparently, when we think that the bigger companies have figured it out, they're doing the same stuff that the indies do. That's what I've learned, like officially learned.
Guys, thank you so much. We'll be back in the studio next week with, I'm sure we'll get a guest or something. Maybe it'll be Dutters because she's doing the Ovo Femi in the other room. So there's that thing. So you do have a belt to do it with. So I guess. Anyways, we'll see you guys next time. Mayhem out.
Just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. Wait for the perfect time then attack. Don't give up what you want, take it back. Wait for the perfect time then attack. Do what you
This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.